Good noon, really, but we'll call it afternoon because it is just barely. These walks have become a little infrequent the last little while because of my um, travel. I'm going to go this way. I'm just going downtown, but I thought I'd go this way just to give it a little bit of a variation from usual. It might rain a little bit later, but I do have an umbrella. I have to go pick up some pills. I have to mail something, so I'm going downtown. And although I didn't live stream recently, I did post a recording of my walk in Cypress Hills, brief walk around a historic Resor Ranch where we were at for a family reunion. So if you want to take a look at that, the Cypress Hills are unique. They are the highest point in Canada between the Rockies and Labrador, I believe. Again, it's in Saskatchewan. People never think of Saskatchewan as having one of the highest points in Canada, but we do, down in Cypress Hills. So you get a bit of a mountain ecosystem there with, evergreens and stuff like that. You see a little bit of that in the video. Dad in school. College is blocked here, of course. So I'll go this way today, up Connaught Crescent, and work my way to downtown from there. So it adds a little bit of distance. And maybe a little bit of interest since I walk the other way most of the time. The feeling is a little crookeder than I'd like, but oh well. It's quite cool too. I'd say it's under 20 degrees at the moment. If you'd like to live in the neighborhood, this house is for sale. These ones are interesting on this crescent. A lot of them sit at this kind of jaunty angle instead of facing directly onto the street. Whereas on Angus Crescent, most of ours face the street, and on Leopold too. Maybe it's because this crescent has a more acute curve to it because it's shorter. I don't walk down it very often. It's no particular reason not to. I just tend to go other ways. And of course, here's your real contrast in this neighborhood between the little blue house and the big modern house next to it. So doing lots of publishing stuff, of course. Got a big journey coming up, so I don't know that you'll see much of me now for quite a while. I might get another walk in tomorrow, but yeah, I don't know exactly what I will post. We'll see, but I'm not dead, just traveling or away from, or I just don't have the opportunity to walk. There's a few things going on. Plan, manage, execute. It's the execute part sounds a little scary. There you can look down and see what they're doing, whatever it is they're doing. Lots of dirt piled up. Something to do with water, I think. I don't know exactly what. New water main, presumably. Don't know what else it would be. Now we are walking up Robinson. Mixture of new houses, one of them facing each other there, two of them facing each other, and then the older houses. Trying to think, what exciting publishing news do I have? I've just been editing like crazy and doing stuff like that. I did get the printed copies of the picture book I'm publishing, which will come out on September 24th, called The Wind in Amanda's Cello. Just got those copies yesterday. I've been editing the stories for Shapers of Worlds Volume 5, the 5th anthology featuring authors who were guests on my podcast, the 5th and last anthology. There won't be a volume 6. I still need to write my story for it. That's one thing I kind of hope maybe I'll get done while I'm in a different mindset here in the next few weeks as I get opportunity. Editing all the books coming up this fall. Some of them are done now, but there's still some to go, and I'm somewhat behind really where I should be. But as I keep saying, it's only me and the cat, and he is no help whatsoever. Absolutely no help at all. Most of the old houses along here, and then there's this apartments over here which are fairly old as well. They undoubtedly replaced houses of this vintage whenever they were built, but now they look fairly old themselves. And that sort of not very exciting brick box fashion that way too many apartment buildings were built in around here at one point. That's a brick box too, but more interesting to look at in the apartments across the street. Probably an older house too. I don't know exactly its vintage, but actually looks older than ours with that style. And ours will be 100 years old next year, or the year after, I guess, 2026. 2026, our house will be 100 years old. I won't. Quite. Hopefully I can celebrate my 100th birthday in the much older by then house. That'd be cool. Whenever I feel old, I just think about the woman who just died, who was 117, world's oldest known person. If I lived to be 117, well, I'm still halfway done, but it'll be a lot of years to go to get there. Not holding my breath. Well, if I held my breath, I wouldn't make it that age, would I? These are nice apartments, as I often mention. We looked at them when we were getting married, but or condos, I guess. But 3rd floor, no elevator, and we knew we'd be switching places with my mother-in-law at some point, which we did indeed. So it was important to have her a place with an elevator and the underground parking and all that good stuff. I think I am feeling drops of rain, so I may very well be walking home in the rain later on. But I do have an umbrella. That's an interesting place. It was clearly a store, but it's now a house or a couple of apartments. I don't know which. Here's the Mayfair, it's called. So we crossed Vitalik, which normally I would walk down toward our house, but it's blocked down there because of the work being done. Seems like I'm always adjusting this to keep it pointing straight ahead. I don't know if it's because of the way I turn my wrist as I walk, or if the gimbal is doing something. I suspect I'm just not consistent in how I hold my wrist. Oh, something's gone over here and something new is about to take its place. Hi.
How's it going?
Good. New foundation for something here. Presumably a house. Quite a large house compared to the one next to it, if you look how far back the foundation goes. And of course, I can't remember what was here before, because as soon as they tear something down, you forget it. in a scooter. You know what I think of scooters. Not a fan. Almost ran over one because some guy on a scooter like that came zipping out of an alley without looking and ran right in front of my car. I didn't hit him. Let's go this way. But could have. Like they forget they're actually a vehicle. You're supposed to obey all the same traffic laws as cars, or bicycles, of course. Mostly don't. Well, the riders don't. I guess the bicycles don't know any better. But how about an alley? Between two apartment buildings. Feels like fall today, but it's not quite yet. About the time I finally get back from travels, it'll be fall. Almost. Close enough. I suspect we'll go away, and when I come back, we'll be seeing yellow leaves in these walks. Quite a lot of them. Could be taking a walk in the first snow in about 6 weeks, if we're unlucky. Or lucky, depending on how you feel about the first snow, I guess. Well, hello. Somebody finally said hello this morning. And if hi, I'm fine. How are you? Somebody doing something on that little bit of roof. Let's not walk under the ladder. Not that I'm superstitious, but never a good idea. Heading downtown, but by a slightly different route than usual. Another house that's clearly one of the older ones in the neighborhood. Both ways, make sure I don't get run over. Carry on up to 13th here. My nieces used to live in here. We just saw them. One lives in Moose Jaw now, one lives here in Regina, and we just saw them at the family reunion I was talking about in Cypress Hills. This was a long time ago. They lived here. They were rooming together. They're both married now, have kids. Doesn't seem like that long ago to me, but it clearly is. Another fancy gate there. Up here we have the Artesian here on the right. It's a former church that's now a performance space. This is where I did my 65th birthday senior moment with Edward Willett, is in here, which you can watch on my YouTube channel should you choose to do so. I recommend it. Good hour and 10 minutes of music, mostly with me, but my wife and daughter were part of it as well. I think I'll walk all the way up to Victoria here. Along Angus. That's the Viterra building, former wheat pool it was called at one point, Saskatchewan wheat pool. Cathedral Social Hall is right over there. We're walking behind it. There you can see the sign over there. Nope, it's a grade A with rain coming later. Probably only around 20 degrees right now. Cool, pleasantly cool. Not cold, but pleasantly cool for walking. So get up here, turn right, and just go straight down Victoria to the hotel. Hotel Saskatchewan. Breezy too, or maybe that's just because I'm walking up beside the tall building here. I don't know. I do expect to be rained on by the time I'm leaving the hotel for the walk home. There's also a nice little restaurant, coffee shop place here in the corner called, what are they calling it now? It's been a couple of things. Tarragon, it's called. Which is a nice place, but I've almost never been in there. I was there for basically for my niece's wedding reception, I guess. May have been the last time. This is Victoria Avenue now. There's where Tarragon is. Cinnamon buns, homemade soup, deli sandwiches. It's more of a lunch place, I think. And not easy to get to at the moment because of this. Not sure how you get to it. I don't think they have any other way up to there. Maybe from the back. This, of course, started life as an apartment building, Simpsons, I believe. And it was envisioned as being like a cornerstone of what was expected to be a downtown like Winnipeg's or Calgary's. And then they had economic downturn in the early part of the 20th century, and then they had the Depression and the Dust Bowl, and downtown Regina never developed the way that they hoped it would, and this eventually was no longer. It has nice features on it too. There you can see, actually it's called the Sherwood Company. China Trading Company, followed by Military Supply Depot, motors, lots of stuff. Wheatpool bought it in 1927, so it's been that ever since. Over in that corner, there used to be an old hotel called the Plains. It was torn down. They dug a big hole to build what should have been the tallest building in Regina, and then that fell through, and they just filled that in the hole again, and right now it's nothing. It's an empty lot. A left turn signal we have to wait for before we can carry on across the street here. Canadian Oil's building. I remember walking down Albert Street after the Rough Riders won the Grey Cup at the old Taylor Field. They were projecting things on the side of that building that night. This whole street was blocked off and was just jammed with people celebrating. Unlike some places, our celebrations did not get out of hand. I think they arrested 3 or 4 people, but nothing major. It was very exciting, though, winning the Grey Cup at home. Hopefully we'll get a chance to do that again someday. The last time the Grey Cup was held here, which was just a couple of years ago, we weren't in it. Winnipeg and somebody. I can't even remember. I went to the game. Barely remember it. I remember being at the Grey Cup, but I don't really remember the game or who won. They weren't real teams. They weren't the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. This is where my publisher used to be, Kato Books. The sign is still there. The publisher's long gone. One of my publishers. And I'm now publishing several of the books they used to publish through Chautauqua Press. I picked up some for reprints. I'm getting out of reprints, though. Except maybe my own stuff, but doesn't seem to be a market for it. Focusing on new stuff. If I do reprints, there'll be special cases, not as readily as I took them on for a little while when I thought they were a surefire way to make money, which they are not. There's City Hall. This is the courthouse. You can tell because it says courthouse on the side of it. Downtown, proper downtown, coming into view down there. You get in trouble, you could end up in here. I don't think I've ever been in this building. I've been in the provincial courtroom, not the provincial, but the civic courthouse for municipal, I guess, for a traffic thing, which I won, by the way. Good morning. Hi, Chuck. Again, City Hall. I worked up on the 15th floor in that building for a while. filling in for somebody in the communications officer for a few months back in 1994. So that was 30 years ago, which is ridiculous, but there you go. That also doesn't seem like it was that long ago. But if it was 1994, it was. Down there's the Revenue Canada building. Ooh, yes. Knox Metropolitan United Church. Performed in there many times. And then my favorite apartment building of them all, stylistically anyway, architecturally, here on the right, the Balfour. We looked at a place in here when we got married too, but again, no indoor parking and stairs, so we decided not to take this, but it might very well have been our first choice had a couple of things been different. Front of it. I don't know what above food is, but it has a sign on it. That implies there's a below food too, but First Baptist Church coming up here where I sing quite often. Every last, 2 Christmases and 1 Easter I've sung there now. And I'll be singing there at Christmas again this year, helping out their choir, doing a solo. They do a very nice Christmas concert here, and the Easter one is nice as well. At least that's my plan, unless something happens, of course. Funny thing is that Louise Kruger, who's the choir director there, was at my 65th anniversary concert, and when I forgot the words, sort of the last song I did, to the Elvish, which I should have known without even thinking about it, she was the one that chimed in and actually knew the Elvish, which was very funny. Victoria Park, of course, over there. Here's downtown with the hill towers. This is the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame in the old land titles building. I don't think I've ever visited the actual Hall of Fame. Sports Hall of Fame. There's a museum door. And up next is my destination, the Hotel Saskatchewan. I can jaywalk here because there ain't nobody coming from that direction. There's the cenotaph in the middle. The Everett Tower up here where I used to have my optometrist used to be up there. It was always great when you got new glasses because you could look out over the prairie and see how good your new glasses were. Because any tall building like that, you can see right to the edge of town in all directions. Which reminds you of how small Regina actually is compared to many places in the world. I'm going to be in London soon and put an awful lot of Reginas in London. Let's see, something like 65 or 70 Reginas would fit in London, I think. 60 for sure. Okay, we will stop here. Thank you for walking with me. As I said, I don't know when I'll be back, but I will at some point. It might be a while. Bye for now.